Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Empower Her podcast. All women should be high maintenance. Okay, let's talk about this. This is our topic for today. Extra special, extra important. Let's talk about why all women should be high maintenance. Okay, I was always told that I was high maintenance. And for a long time, I thought that was an insult. In fact, I internalized it to such a degree that I started to be low maintenance and I started to be a cool girl just to fit in better. And guess what? I got a lot of praise from it. I got a lot of praise from it from my family, from men specifically, or boys, if we can, when I was a teenager, I was dating boys. And this didn't make me happy. It did for a while because I was getting praise for being quote unquote low maintenance. And so the praise was making me happy. The praise was giving me that, positive response, that dopamine hit of like, yes, I'm doing something right. I'm doing something good. But what actually happened is I got completely burnt out as a result. And I had to completely learn, mostly in the last few years, that high maintenance and being high maintenance was actually a good thing. And now if someone were to say that to me, I would take it as a compliment. So today I really want to talk about redefining what high maintenance means as a form of self-worth, especially for those women who have been taught to take up less space. So I just want to address kind of the elephant in the room. Like we talk about a lot of times, especially on social media, high maintenance as being someone who, physically high maintenance, someone who, spends a lot of time doing their hair, their makeup, spends a lot of money on themselves. That's not necessarily what I'm going to be talking about in this episode. I'm going to be focusing on high maintenance in terms of like emotional high maintenance and self-worth. Although these things I do believe kind of go hand in hand, but we're going to be talking about it more from a self-worth perspective rather than the physical aspect of it. So let's kind of go over what we've been taught, okay? Saying someone is low maintenance is saying they're easygoing and they never complain, right? Or, saying she's decisive, right? That's saying she's demanding. The negativity. That's what we've been taught, right? So how does this show up in our daily lives? How do you show up as being low maintenance when really you should be high maintenance, right? You're saying yes to things when really you mean no. You're trying to act like the cool girl. You're feeling guilty for wanting more or asking for more. And you're equating low needs with being lovable, right? You're saying that the less I ask for, the more lovable I'm going to be. And ask yourself, truly ask yourself the question, who benefits from you being low maintenance? The answer is the patriarchy. The answer is the patriarchy at the end of the day. And I do not subscribe to the patriarchy. Of course, we live in the patriarchy. There are certain, social things that we do and have to do to survive. But in general, the patriarchy is who benefits from you being low maintenance, you and I being low maintenance. And we're not doing that anymore. We're flipping the scripts and we're changing things around. So let's talk about what high maintenance actually means, what it really, really means. Not what we've been told, but what it actually means, okay? Being high maintenance means that you have standards. It means you have clarity in what you want and who you are. And it means that you have self-trust. You trust yourself to make good decisions, to be in the right rooms, to be with the right people and spend time with the right people, to be exactly who you're meant to be. Okay, so let's talk about some examples of healthy high maintenance, okay? And these things are seen as bad oftentimes, but these are actually good things. The first one, wanting alone time, not wanting to be around other people. This shows up a lot for me in, going on vacation with my family. I always felt like I had to be around everyone all the time. And now I realize that no, I can go up to my room for an hour and take a nap or go on my laptop or watch a show or whatever. Or I can, spend time by myself. It's okay. I don't need to always be with my friends. Even with my husband, I don't need to be with him in the same room 24/7, right? The next thing, having routines, right? Our routines, other people can think that our routines interfere with their fun, their plans, but having routines and sticking to them is a healthy form of being high maintenance. Expecting reciprocity, right? So expecting similar to what other people are being given, right? If you are a certain type of friend, it's okay to expect a certain level back from that friend. Now, it doesn't mean that it's tit for tat, but it just means that the level of friendship that you're giving, you do expect that back. And if you don't get it, then you can set those boundaries. The next thing is filtering your environment. I talk about this a lot in many different ways, specifically with like friends and social media, but filtering what you see, filtering who you spend time with, filtering what you spend your energy on, right? You need to filter those things, because if they don't make you happy, if they don't bring you joy, then it's about really filtering, right? The next thing is saying no to what doesn't serve you, whether that's a person, whether that's going to a place, whether it's an event, whether it's a situation. Saying no. I work with so many women who struggle to say no to things when really they don't want to do it, but they feel an obligation, they feel pressure, they feel this like urgent sense that they actually have to do that thing that they don't want to do. You absolutely do not. It doesn't benefit anyone at the end of the day. The next thing is removing friends from your life that no longer support you. This was something that was extremely hard for me to do. I've talked about this before. I did an episode on losing friendships. I had friends who I was friends with for over 10 years, and I no longer felt the support that I actually believed I was worthy of. And so I decided that I was no longer going to be friends with those people. They drained my energy. They took time away from my business. They, really brought me down in a lot of ways. I didn't feel the support, and I decided that I didn't need to be friends with them anymore. The next thing is staying in. Now, as someone who often had FOMO and was an extrovert and loved to be around people and not with my own thoughts, COVID really taught me that being inside and being alone is actually a good thing. So it's okay to stay inside. It's okay to not want to be out amongst people. It's okay to say no to social events. It's okay. It's okay to do those things. And the last one on this list is leaving work when your day is over. I have so many clients who tell me they stay after their work hours, and I'm like, why? Are you being paid for that? They usually tell me no, and I said, okay, then we're done doing that, right? And this was not an exhaustive list. These were just some of the ones that were top of my mind that I often see as being negative, that I want to reframe as being positive things. But you really need to take a look at an audit of your life and say, what are those things that you're doing just to do them versus what are those things you're doing because they actually bring you joy and are good things for you and are positive things for you. And again, as a reminder, being high maintenance isn't about needing things from others. It's not about taking from others, but it's about actually giving yourself what you need first. It's about prioritizing yourself. It's about putting yourself first despite everything else going on around you. So let's talk about the cost of being low maintenance and low maintenance culture, because I want to help y'all understand the negative side of being low maintenance, why it's not a good thing, so that then we can see, okay, why it's so important to be high maintenance. So the results of being chill all the time, the results of being resilient all the time, the results of putting everyone first all the time, burnout, number one, probably something I see as like the biggest thing for myself, for a lot of the people I work with women, is they get so burnt out because they're used to being low maintenance and they're used to catering to literally everyone else. The next thing is resentment. I see this a lot of times in relationships, both romantic and friendships, is you give so much to other people and you don't get it back that you start to feel resentful towards them. And that's such a bad feeling. I mean, I felt so much resentment for people around me. I had a situation with a family member recently where I didn't get the same thing from them that I was giving them. And I felt a lot of anger and I just decided to tell them. And so I said, hey, this is really bothering me. I honestly didn't really feel like they were going to change based on what I said. So I decided to take a step back. I set a boundary. I took a step back. I was no longer going to be giving everything that I was giving. And it made me feel so much better. And this way I wasn't resentful that I was still doing those things, but not getting it back. No, I'm just not going to give you what you're also not giving me. The next thing is feeling invisible. When we are low maintenance, we tend to put everyone first and we start to feel invisible. Our needs are not met. We are not being seen. We are not being taken seriously. The next thing is taking scraps and calling it love. So again, just really being okay with the bare minimum, which is very much a low maintenance trait. If you're high maintenance, which you should be, you're not going to be okay with just taking the bare minimum, because you know the bare minimum isn't love. That's not real love. Real love is going to love you fully, is going to give you everything that you need, right? And again, like I've had so many clients of mine, even myself, we were completely burned out. I was someone that always gave everything to everyone else. I went above and beyond and never to myself. You know, I used to work 10-hour days in corporate, go to the gym. This is when I was with my ex. I would then go home after I'd gone to, the gym and worked all day. Then I would go home, cook him dinner, and then wake up again in the morning at 6 a.m. to make him eggs and bacon for breakfast. And I woke up earlier just so I could make him breakfast before he went to school or to work. And it's like, okay, and I wonder why I resented him. I wonder why we didn't have an intimate relationship. I wonder why we broke up and I wasn't happy. That's not normal, right? I was giving in that relationship, and I was not getting even a fraction back of that support at all. So a good example of this, if we're staying on this example now with my current relationship with my husband, like if I'm working all day and I don't have time to cook, I will say to him, listen, I don't have time. I need you to figure out dinner. And he figures it out, and it's not a question, it's not a problem. And it doesn't mean he cooks. Maybe he orders food or he picks something up, but he figures it out. And it no longer is my problem, because we are in a partnership, because he knows that I need support and help, and he sees me fully, and he knows that I have boundaries that I set and that I keep to as well. A quote that I found that I love, or that we can kind of use for this, is low maintenance often equals high resentment. And you don't want to be resentful. It's a really negative place to be, and it really doesn't help anybody. So how are you going to reclaim your identity? How are you going to reclaim yourself as high maintenance and use high maintenance as being a radical act? So the first thing you're going to do is being choosy about your energy. Decide who you give your energy to, where you show your energy, and really everything about it. The next thing you're going to do is say no, but don't feel guilty about it. Say no without guilt, whether it's plans that you don't want to do, whether it's spending time with people you don't want to spend time with, doing work, extra work that you don't want to do, overtime that you don't want to do. Say no. The next thing you're going to do is plan rest like it's work. Just like you would plan your work week or your workouts or your fun activities, plan rest into your schedule as well. The next thing you're going to do is slow down and use this as a boundary. So whether it's slowing down your responses to people, slowing down how quickly you act, just slowing down as a whole is going to help you really think through everything that you're doing so that you can set proper boundaries and so that you don't go overboard when you shouldn't be. And the last thing is just knowing that all these things are not extra. It's not being extra. This is integrity for yourself. This is self-care. This is you focusing on who you are and what's best for you. I want to give you a couple of affirmations that you can say to yourself, but of course feel free to edit these to whatever way works best for you. But a couple things you can say to yourself to start reprogramming your brain, right? Affirmations are great for subconscious reprogramming so that you can start to actually believe that you're worthy of being high maintenance. So the first one is, I know what I need and I'm not apologizing for it. The next one is, my standards are not up for debate. The third one is, if taking care of myself is high maintenance, so be it. And the fourth one is, I don't need to be easy to be worthy. Okay? Think of which one really resonates with you as I said them and say them to yourself. I always recommend affirmations to be said 5 times in the morning as soon as you wake up, and then 5 times at night right before bed, so that it can really seep into your subconscious and you can start to actually believe in your core. Believe in your core that you are worthy of being high maintenance, okay? It's better for everyone if you're high maintenance. You will be a better person. You will be a better friend, a better partner, a better mother, a better colleague, a better whoever if you focus on yourself first, if you practice radical self-love, if you practice being high maintenance and asking for what you want. That is what will happen. It's going to be better for everyone because being high maintenance doesn't make you difficult. It doesn't. It makes you deeply self-honoring. It means that you care about yourself as a priority and you love yourself. A couple of reflection prompts that you can either journal or write down or even do like a voice note on your phone for. There's 2 reflection prompts I think would be really great for you to do, whichever one, resonates with you, to kind of close out this episode and really think more about what areas in your life are you being low maintenance and how can you be more high maintenance? The first prompt is, what needs have you been downplaying? So what needs have you been downplaying in your life? And the next one is, where could you raise your standards? So these are 2 prompts. Think about them, write it out, do a journal. This can be super, super helpful to kind of get your thoughts out and start making changes, and then incorporate the affirmations so that you start to reprogram your brain, and then you will actually start to see the difference, because at the end of the day, all of you deserve to be high maintenance. You just have to believe it's possible and start acting like it. Okay. I hope you loved the episode. It was a topic I was very excited to talk to you all about. And if you did love the episode, I would really appreciate a 5-star review wherever you're listening to it. It really, really helps boost the podcast. And of course, if you're on YouTube, then please subscribe as well. I hope y'all have an amazing, fabulous week, and I'll catch you in the next episode.